So the New York Jets make, I think, the first real surprise of this second round, certainly. I guess the Watson pick was a surprise, just that the Packers traded. They trade up for Breece Hall, a running back, which I don't know if I love this move. I get it. The scheme does, value running backs highly, and I want to be clear. I like Breece Hall, the player, a lot. My question is just, is this a bit of a reach? Just getting due to positional value. That's solely my issue, because he's a great player. So let's talk about the player himself and what I like about him. He is my running back number one, and then we'll talk about the kind of the is this the right move stuff a little bit later on. So first, let's start off with a play like this. If you know me, you know that when it comes to running backs, I think it's really important to pay attention to all facets of the game. You don't just want a guy who can run well, because it happens all the time where you have a guy who is a great runner, but then, that's all he has, and so he can never get on the field. Well, Breece Hall is at least good enough at all three facets of the game, in my opinion, that he can justify being out there. So, first, the blocking game. This isn't going to be something that's going to wow you and make you say, oh my God, what a block. But it's something that is, at the end of the day, typically for running back, it's just be something in the way. Be it like a tripwire or whatever. Just, throw your body at them. The way this play works is it's actually going to be a quarterback rollout, and so Hall is going to have to run out to help block and help make this rollout work. Look, as you see, so Hall runs out, and at this spot, you can see how he's doing a good job of just getting himself in position to make this play. Again, as you see, he just gets in the way enough to allow his quarterback to, run and get a few yards, whatever, but he did his job, and that's really all you need a halfback to do. You don't need halfbacks going out there and just, laying people out. In fact, that almost just never happens, so why expect it? What you want is a guy who really is just smart and aware of how to block in general. You just don't want guys whiffing on blocks, and he won't whiff on blocks, so that's cool. Again, in the receiving game, I also feel like he always does his job in these moments. He's not going to be Christian McCaffrey, I don't think, but he's someone who can perform solidly well in the receiving game as well. This is an example of that. So it's very much a halfback route, right? He's running out to the flat and seeing if, the quarterback wants to throw it there. As you see, right when this play begins, Brock Purdy is going to flip it over to Breece Hall. So Hall has the ball. That rhymes. Just found that out. And what you're going to see is he has some room in front of him. And all you want, similar to when you get the ball through a run, same thing with, when you're in open space. If you have this situation, just pick up as many yards that are there. That's what you want out of a halfback. Obviously, the most amount of yards possible is ideal. And as you see, he accelerates really well and is going to be able to pick up as many yards as possible. He doesn't break any tackles. He doesn't make any juke moves, but he got the yards that were available for him. And there's a lot of value in just doing that, just getting the yards that you potentially can get without having to make any crazy moves. And he can make moves as well. Real quick, one more blocking play. I know we're spending a while on this, but it's important to talk about. It really is. This stuff really matters. And most running back bust happen because they can't get the other facets down. It's rare that a running back bust because they suck at actually running the football. I can't even really think of a scenario where I've seen that happen. It's almost always they can't get the other stuff. And this is an example of that other stuff where it's going to be a blitz pickup. The linebacker or number 9, I don't know if he's a linebacker or a safety or what, but the guy on that play who I've circled in yellow, he is going to be blitzing, and watch how Hall is going to pick this up. Look, as you see, so there is an open gap, and he does read this play. Again, you could argue there's a bit, he could have gotten a little bit closer kind of towards the middle of that gap. He wasn't in perfect position, but he's in good enough position to where he can make the play. He is going to be able to get his body in the way just long enough to allow the quarterback to make the throw and not get hit as well. You don't want your quarterback to get hit. It's not just about making the throw, but it's don't want to get hit either. So both of that stuff, it's always good. Okay, finally some running plays. It's a running back. That's all people care about. How well do they run the football? Even though that's actually not typically what matters, but that's what people care about. That's what's fun, and it is fun. I certainly acknowledge that. So the way this play works, it's going to be a run to the offense's left. And look, as you see, right when this play begins, what you're going to notice is that there is, I pause it right here, and you can see a window. And this is what I think Hall does really well is he just accelerates through those windows that happen. When you see those gaps, he is able to just squeeze through it. It's funny because you don't think of his body type as necessarily like this quick guy, but that's kind of what he does. I feel like he accelerates very well, which that's what matters for running back. I care less about 40 times because, okay, I mean, that matters, right? Because when you get in open space, that certainly helps. But really, acceleration is what matters on every single play, and he accelerates very well. And watch him accelerate through that gap, and he eventually does get tripped up, but still picks up a solid gain. And that's just kind of how I feel about Breece Hall in general, is it just seems like he's the kind of guy, he's just going to get you 2 extra yards more than whatever an average running back would have given you, right? He's just going to give you a little bit more in all facets of the game. He's going to block better than an average guy off the street would. He might not be a star at it, but he's going to block well. He's going to receive solid off, pretty well, and he's definitely a good runner. And just to be clear, a play like this, I don't want to undersell him. Like, he is capable of making these explosive plays. He's not just someone who's like a fine halfback. Like, no, he will make some really good plays, and this is a good example of that, where it's going to be a run towards the top of the screen, so to the offense's left, and watch what happens. So right when this play begins, you're going to see that the ball gets over to Breece Hall, who is going to get in open space, and this is where you want to see, really, I mean, okay, all that other stuff was good, and I'm sure if you're a fan of the team that now has Breece Hall, you're certainly going to sit here and say, okay, yeah, that was cool, thanks, but like, what can you do that's exciting? That's not really exciting. That's important and matters, but what's something I can get excited about? This is something you can get excited about, when you can make a move like what he's going to do here. Watch him break in, and he's even going to make the safety miss. He's going to actually get a touchdown on this play. Just an incredible play from Hall. So yeah, that's kind of my thought on it. And listen, some people had Breece Hall as a first-round running back talent. I did not. I didn't even have him as a third-round running back talent. But again, to me, a running back has to be really good to justify spending a second-round or third-round pick on, just because I don't value the position as much, just due to the fact that, you look at the trends of the NFL, teams with great running backs, unless they're like this top-end guy, doesn't tend to move the needle too much. But maybe if you feel he's a top-end guy, then I don't hate this pick whatsoever, and he will help the football team. So I think there's 2 ways to look at this. One is, okay, usually I don't love drafting a running back unless you're immediately competing. The flip side, though, is like they do want to make things easier on Zach Wilson. And one thing that kind of talking myself into it, and one reason that I like this move is I feel like there were too many times last year where it's now 2nd down and 6 because you ran the ball on 1st down and got 2 yards, and then ran the ball on 2nd down and got 2 yards. You got to get that out. You got to not let that be a thing. Well, Breece Hall will help with that, and the offensive line's pretty good. So if this draft is about making things easier on Zach Wilson, well, this is a great way to do that. So that's kind of why I like it. And he is a back, like I said, I think he can be good in all facets of the game, which is important. So you have him with now Zach Wilson. You drafted, of course, Garrett Wilson, and helped out the defense as well. So a lot of, high-profile selections here. Interesting stuff from the Jets' perspective. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.